Welcome back to Grid Down Prepping at Guns America Digest. If you have not subscribed yet to Guns America Digest, you should do so at gunsamerica.com/digest. Please also like this video and subscribe to the channel. But subscribing to the digest is actually pretty important because the articles that go along with these videos usually have extra stuff in them and a lot of links to the products and other things, other relevant things. Today I'm doing perimeter alarms. And I covered perimeter alarms on Prepping 101 for those old timers here many years ago, and I'm going to cover that original product that I found back then also. This electric guy runs on 3 AA batteries, and it's basically a motion sensor. And it's a pretty good product. I would say that it's not the greatest product. You can't really set it up in the wind because it's very sensitive. It does have a nice range on it. I would say at least 50 yards. I've tested it about 50, and as soon as I walked into the cone, it triggered. So I haven't triggered it. I haven't done it longer than that, but much more than that, I don't know that you would hear it. You probably would hear it to 100 yards on a very quiet night. I don't think it's loud enough to wake you up. Maybe very close to you, like right outside your tent, it probably would wake you up, but it's not loud enough to really, raise the dead. It's not even a shrill alarm. It's just like you heard. It's just a very basic alarm. The cone on it, I would say, is about maybe 20 degrees, or I mean, call that 30 degrees. I would say it's a little tighter than 30 degrees. It does go out in a cone from here, but it's not the entire expanse of the sensor, obviously. It's just the middle of the sensor that's doing it. It is extremely sensitive and goes very far, and reliably, if someone walks through it, if they walk toward it, that kind of stuff I did test, and it works really good. I would obviously cover when you turn it on, one of the lights comes on, and if I was covering a place with this, I would definitely put a piece of tape over that light so that it couldn't be seen, so that it was a surprise to someone who would walk into the path, because otherwise they're just going to try to go around it. And I'm going to get to that. Like the point of a perimeter alarm is something, and how you would use a perimeter alarm like this is actually a really important topic, because online, if you go onto all these prepper YouTube channels and all the people out there who are selling themselves to these prepper food companies, they don't tell you, they don't give you any instruction of why you would want these things. They just try to sell them to you. And what I try to do is I try to explain why you would want this kind of thing. A perimeter alarm is essentially a force multiplier. So you're not going to have enough guards, right, to watch your perimeter, to let you know if someone's coming. You're just not going to have enough of those. And I've really covered a lot of perimeter alarm kinds of things that are force multipliers, include even the radio receiver, the little bug radio receiver that plugs into a computer that will tell you if there's radio signals coming from handhelds within many miles of you, if the antenna is up pretty high. I've covered all that stuff, and this is a battery powered guy. Now, I would say it's not weatherproof. Probably won't die right away in the weather, but I would say at least it needs at least a cover. But it's battery powered. You don't need a grid. You don't need solar panels. You don't need. It's just you can get. I've covered them actually in Prepping 101. You can get these boxes that are basically just a little tiny solar panel that you put your batteries in. And you just leave it outside. So if you've got some rechargeable batteries, some AAA's, if you had 10 of these, you could cover a pretty good perimeter with that and just rotate the batteries. And one guard, theoretically, could watch your entire perimeter, really just listening for the alarm, so that if the guard gets distracted, the guard's reading a book, whatever, it's not their eyes or their night vision that is determining if someone's coming or not. You have an advance warning of that. Sorry. You have an advance warning of that so that I can be ready. Now, is it a dog? Is it a squirrel? Is it any one of these things? Possibly. Now, obviously, you're not going to be able to cover your entire perimeter out to miles, right? So for that, you have to work like a trapper, all right? And I've done trapping articles before. I have a good friend who's a lifetime trapper. His father's a fur dealer. So I kind of grew up learning about trapping and how the trapping mentality works. And the way a trapper works is they sit back and they say, where is that beaver going to go? Where is that muskrat going to go? I know there's muskrat in this, I know there's beaver here, and they're probably going to come this way, right? And then what they do is, if they're probably going to come that way anyway, I'm going to make obstacles so that they don't go the other way, okay? So when it comes to a man-sized predator who's hunting you, you might want to create a doorway or two. Fell a couple trees so that they would have to climb over or under the tree. And therefore you have these doorways where you can set your traps. And I did cover bear traps many years ago. Kind of a dead end. The actual trap methodology is, I don't believe, is what you see in the movies. Maybe it'll work, I don't know. But a warning is really what you're looking for more than anything. And these perimeter alarms, if you think like a trapper, you don't want any of this stuff to happen, obviously. But when you are by yourself or with a few other people and you want to protect your stuff, a warning is probably the most important thing. If it ends up coming to that, a warning is probably more important than anything else. I'll see you next time.